10, right?
But yeah, I'm looking at it because, you know,
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
so are these,
Tomorrow, yeah.
Okay.
go out?
Don't be surprised if you get a text, hey, did you give me an evaluation link?
I can put it in. I mean, I can get your email. Can you copy and paste it from your email?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm very good at that.
So, let's see, what was it? So we started our kickoff 2 weeks ago with Fernanda coming off of a vacation. And I think she's taking a vacation all next week. And I think it's one of those use it or lose it.
Is Heidi, are they asking Heidi to
So
co-host?
she's gotten that far into it, right? So Heidi is hosting Tuesday through Friday.
She is.
She is.
Well,
Which
no one
is-
told me.
Well, Heidi told me on Monday, which I guess was only yesterday, that she wasn't going to do it.
Oh,
And then I was chatting with Mike, because I was trying to send people to Mike, because I know they don't have anybody to replace Fernando next week.
right.
And so because of KSLA and stuff like that, and the people who've come and gone that have worked hometown shows and the, you know, the other types of living local segments that we've done, I was like, I know plenty of people. So I was trying to send people to him. He goes, well, I think Heidi's going to do it. So I went back to Heidi. Heidi said she was doing Tuesday, Thursday. But that puts us in a weird spot because we need somebody for Monday. And then Fernanda also pointed out that we could pre-tape 6 things this week for next week. And she says, because won't be live, it'll be filmed live in studio, we can do 6 people and every person could have, you know, we can be cute with it. It started getting real complicated. But the problem,
What does that mean?
housekeeping for your 9
Thank you.
o'clock
Oh,
tomorrow.
thank you.
I sent you a draft of the
Mark?
airport.
And the 3 other ones I had asked you for?
I
Maybe
have,
tomorrow?
yeah, I have some of them saved. Do you want them separately or?
Yeah.
I figured. I have, they're all just starting to line up. I want to do it all at once. Okay. Sweet.
All right.
Anything else?
Everything okay for Joey?
Yeah, I'm gonna go right now. What?
We said tell Joey, we said
Yeah.
aye.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Bye.
all right. So where it's getting hairy and why I wanted to have a face-to-face conversation than emails, because it's all starting to, this particular week is becoming a problem just because we need a host. And he has not suggested, Mike has not suggested anybody. But I said, well, you know, I read your email about maybe making it HBCU centric. And I was like, well, we could get Angelique to be the host that day. And maybe even get her to do the 6 things. But then of course that means we would be paying for the host, because I have a feeling, I don't know that Mike would offer to pay for the host. You would think they would, because it would be replacing their person who's not going to do that. It's getting weird. It's just a weird situation to be in.
Is it paying Heidi?
I mean, I don't know that Heidi would ask to be paid for it. But Fernanda says that
But she's not
whomever,
doing Friday? She's only doing Tuesday and Thursday?
no, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday next week. Fernanda says whoever would replace her would get paid if they're not.
You're also the luckiest man I know, exclamation mark. I am longing to hear about that Key West blind date. It sounds like drinks at Two Johns are coming sooner than you would like, exclamation mark. So who is that who had a blind date in Florida Keys last Thursday through and just got back tonight?
Somebody.
Pam.
Yes.
Hey, Pam.
God, I have Mike
Pam.
and Mark from KTL. Okay. I figure
When he says he had a blind date in Key West, what, is it male or female? I'm just so intrigued. Oh, okay. Hi there, am I on?
I'm on. This is Rashonda.
Rashonda, I cannot hear you. Can you hear me?
You can't hear me, Pam? Oh, wow.
What's going on here? Just 1 minute. I think I turned my volume way down. Let's try again. Rashonda, can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yes.
Okay. Okay. I got nervous. I said, oh my God, is my volume up?
We're solving a little problem here. Do you mind if I put you on mute just for a
I do
moment?
not. I do not. Pam, if you were talking to me, I didn't hear you.
Well, I was watching the time. Casey's gonna put us on Facebook Live.
Okay.
You are where with Otis? Where are you?
We are in Fort Worth, Texas,
Okay.
and we got a chance, Pam, oh my God, to record Mr. Otis Hollingsworth. He's a visual artist.
Okay.
And oh my God. So he did not completely finish his artwork. He kind of, it was mostly done, but we got some great shots with him completing the artwork. It was so fun.
Okay. So let me ask this. Is Brent gonna be on with you tonight?
He's going to chime in probably around 6:30.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is it possible for you to, before we put you on Facebook, since it's just the two of us, can you scoot your hat back a little bit? It's
Oh.
making half your face dark.
There you go.
That's better.
That
Perfect.
better?
Better, yes.
Okay.
While she's on the line, because the way Six Things runs, it has to have video for everything. So if one of the people filming or her could send us a clip of somebody performing or anything that might be part of the performance, even if it is a.
So, Rashonda, next Monday, the week of our show, because I'm looking and no one else is on but us right now. It's all going to be about HBCU on NBC KTAL 6. And we want to know, first of all, will you be in Shreveport on Friday where we could record you in the studio at KTAL again?
What time? Because we're supposed to go to Baton Rouge to capture Dr. Turner, Dr. Ava Brewster Turner.
Okay.
Aim for the morning. I just add.
Well, we might could get it on Thursday if you're here on Thursday.
And we'll be coming in late Thursday. So let me check with Brent.
Okay.
And then maybe, once we finish the Zoom, we can figure out if we can just leave later on Friday.
Okay.
Yeah, because we were going to try to leave early and then shoot her and then come on back. But let me check with him and see if I could still do the video, the recording, and that will be in the morning, correct?
Right.
And then I can do that in the morning, and as soon as we finish, then we can go ahead and hit to Baton Rouge.
All right. Then the second question is there any footage that you all have already recorded that you think is great for on Monday, you being able to say, this is an example of a performance that you're going to get to see? But it's just
Okay, yeah, sure. Because we have a lot. We have a lot of stuff. Sure, that would be great. We could do that definitely on Monday.
Okay.
We'll need it this
Well, we
week.
need it this week though, to show it on Monday.
We're
We're going to
filming this
pre-record the
week.
show.
Oh,
We're gonna
okay.
pre-record everything. So.
Okay, so yes, we can do that. We just have to, like I said, as soon as we get off, then I'll tell Brent.
2 to 3 minutes of something, or it can even be 60 seconds in loop. That would be fine as well.
Oh, or can it be? Okay, yeah.
What's going to happen is you're going to talk about it, and it's just going to play while you talk.
Okay.
And so I'll have to just give you an example.
But if it's somebody singing or
Oh,
somebody playing a musical instrument.
It's not going. You're not going to hear it. It's going to be visual that you talk over.
Whoa.
So
So do you have a dance?
So KC, it will be like the last interview I did, where she was interviewing me, and then the video footage I sent was being played, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they want to use you're going to be talking over it, and they're going to be talking about what they're going to be seeing, and I don't think there's going to be any audio from it. So, I mean, if somebody's singing, as long as you can see them singing, that's not this.
Oh, we're fine. That'll be fine. Yeah, we'll work that out, and what I'll do is again, get with him, and we'll make that happen.
I'll get you a little more information tomorrow or tonight.
Sure, sounds good. Sounds good, buddy.
Okay. All right. So that's what I wanted to know. Let me get your show started, and then now the only other thing I want to tell you is because I am your stage manager, you have a little bit of shine right up here. Do you want a powder for just a second?
Oh, and I tried to wipe it. I didn't bring my makeup with me, so
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Well,
because usually I have my
I know
powder.
you well enough to know you would look at me and go, now, Pam, I would have told you. So, okay.
Hold on, Pam. Let me get something to wipe my forehead.
Okay. She does have a little shine. So maybe what I should do would be to ask Eric, like, I wish Karen were both, she's not in the HBCU exhibition.
But I wonder, the problem with exhibition, watching somebody paint doesn't really convey an exhibition as much, because we have Zoom video of him painting, but that's more about workshops and less about the exhibition. When are they gonna start painting?
No, what I was saying is, should have started painting this week.
Is that better, Pam?
Oh, aren't you gorgeous? There you are. And don't
Yeah,
talk about my shine and my wraps and all, because I'm going to go real fast here.
And I didn't even, I don't know why I didn't bring my makeup, my base, but
You look great. No, you look great. It's just that again, you're in a new light, in a new situation, a new scenario.
yeah.
All right. So I'm going to let Casey get us started on Facebook Live. Then I'm going to hit an introduction and then the video.
All right.
Live on Facebook. To page manage. Let's see. It's working its way. I just who's running Eric's tonight? I'll look it up when I get back to my computer. All right. That sounds about right. Oops. No. Cross space to art space. You are now going live.
All righty.
Yay.
Very good. Well, welcome everyone. We're thrilled to have you with Rashonda D. Spears, who is our performing artist in residence. Rashonda, I'm not quite sure what number this makes. I think we're on number 11, maybe number 10 of your workshop series. And it's been a joy to be here every Tuesday and Thursday. And by golly, we're winding ourselves to a performance. So Rashonda is tonight in Fort Worth, where she's doing an interview and doing some recording. And we want to tell everybody that on Saturday, October 24th, you're going to have a chance to see the first virtual performance of the homecoming artists from Grambling State University and Southern University Shreveport, all directed, conceived, envisioned, and directed by Rashonda D. Spears, and produced by her sidekick in crime, Brent Lattin, and overarchingly produced through a grant from the National Endowment for the Arts and the Shreveport Regional Arts Council. So tonight we're going to hear more about the story of what it means to be a performing artist. What are some of the technical steps that Rashonda's had to go through as she sits in Fort Worth doing her interviews? And I want to also remind you that on October the 23rd, Friday night, well, it's homecoming weekend in Shreveport. So if you're an alumni of Grambling State University or Southern University Shreveport, or if you just want to come home to our great city, wherever you are, and see some of the finest visual and performing art. Meet the artists, have a little nosh or two at Art Space. It's a great weekend to celebrate artists and to celebrate fall and homecoming. So save that date. And now let's have the introduction for our whole homecoming series right now, right? Just about right now, just 1 minute. Where is that? Okay, just 1 second. Where is it? Come on, everybody. Come on. Let's have that homecoming moment. It's almost there. Well, I don't. All right. There we go. So we thank you for joining us tonight on Facebook Live and also on our Zoom cast with Rashonda. And again, save the date for October 23 and 24. Please, if you are a student who's Zooming in or Facebooking in and hoping to receive some recognition for the work that you're doing tonight, be sure that you sign in to the chat room. And if there's a professor that you wish to acknowledge so that we make sure the message gets to your professor, write his or her name down or type it into the chat room. And just at the break, we will be putting the evaluation form that you'll complete for tonight's session with Rashonda D. Spears. Take it away, Rashonda.
Hello, hello, and good evening, everyone. Pam, I was trying to call you because when you shut your mic off, we couldn't hear the music. It's okay. It's okay.
Sorry about that. Boy, I thought I was the technology guru by now. But at the break, I will play it again so they can hear the music and see it. How about that?
Okay, good.
All right.
So again, welcome everyone. We're winding down. I'm getting more anxious, nervous. This is great. It's exciting. Recording and feeling the spirit and inspiration from everyone. So that's what we're going to start. We're going to start with the inspiration in the process of making this video performance that is going to be so exciting. So of course the inspiration came from the actual theme that we are doing, which is Homecoming 2020 Artist Reunion. So that was the inspiration. So what does that mean? How do I feel about that? What I'm thinking that this could possibly be. A lot of thoughts were, spinning as I was trying to figure out how to put this together and include all of our performing artists with the situation we're in, because of COVID-19, we've had a lot of restrictions on a lot of different things. So it was, I don't want to say difficult, but it was kind of challenging trying to ensure that we got the footage that we needed in order to make it happen. But I'm gonna keep going because it's a lot. All right, so the vested interest or the tie-in. The beauty in it is that I have a close relationship with Grambling, of course, and Southern University. Grambling alum, Southern University instructor. You know, wonderful, wonderful match. The vision, the performing artist, the performing artist. I had to think a lot about how I would place them because we have musicians, singers, dancers, vocalists. And what I did not want to do as I was thinking about the vision and how I wanted everything to line up was to forget about our visual artists. Even though they're not performing artists, I still wanted to showcase their work so that everyone can see the arts in a full range and full circle. So with that vision in my mind, okay, beginning, middle, and end. And I love to tell a story. I love telling a story. I love taking people from the beginning to the end, tying everything together so that you can leave with a full range of, you know, what you're seeing and viewing, you know, and not just seeing something, not just things put together, but taking that puzzle and taking those pieces to the puzzle and putting them together so that you can see the beauty in all of the art forms. So after trying to do that and figure out, once I got my vision in and said, okay, this is what I want to happen at the top, you know, this is how the middle section will be, and then this is how we'll close it out and bring it in. Myself and Brent, because I had everything written out, probably almost 3 months ago now, I would say. So by the time I sat down with him so that we could logistically figure out footage and how that will apply. I mean, we had 2 separate meetings where it was, I believe each meeting was 6 hours. So 6 hours on 2 separate occasions where we literally got together to try to pull this together to make it happen. What I also wanted to do and made sure I did was, especially musically, try to utilize our artists and their music. So what you will see when you do see the premiere of the performance, as well as the documentary portion that will be with it, is you will see some original works by the artists, by some of the artists in the presentation. But back to the 2 meetings that were 6 hours apiece. So sitting with him, you know, talking to Brent about, okay, this is what I'm seeing. How can we make this happen? This is what I'm seeing here. How can we make this happen? And this is what I'm seeing here. So I had ideas out the wazoo coming at him like, okay, well, this is the effect that I want for this. So everything, so he can get in his mind, okay, this is what she wants, let me create that. Or, Rashonda, that's just not gonna work. Just simply just like that. And then here I go, well, how can we make it work? I mean, I don't want to, because, you know, I don't like to hear no. So how can we make that work? Because that's what I'm seeing, and that's what I see in my head, and that's what I want to come out to the people. But we have 2 great meetings, again, that lasted 6 hours apiece. So we worked. We had tried to work because we knew that, and specifically with the vocalists, because the songs that I chose for them to sing, you know, everyone's style is different. Each and every vocalist that we have, their style is different. So again, we had to work those things out. How can we still make it happen, still, you know, get what I needed to get from the vision that I had, you know, created. So everything worked out. Everything, the beauty in Black music and Black art is, especially as we're talking about how everything kind of relates and correlates, even with the differences in style, everything still comes together because it's just something about our music that still all ties together. Whether that's our Negro spirituals, whether that's jazz, whether that's blues, whether that's, you know, they just in rap. It just all comes together. It's just something about that feeling and that energy that they all just come together. The songs, well, we talked about the songs, so let's move to I'm also utilizing some poetry, which is going to be dynamic from our theater and drama people. I wanted to concentrate, and this is on every level, as it relates to the music, as it relates to the poetry, the dance. I wanted to utilize and be specific to our time. So what you will be seeing and hearing will be very similar to what we're going through today, but in its irony, it's nothing that has really changed. It's not like, okay, we're going through this today and then this is something new. This is very familiar. This is not new. It's just a repeat of what we've gone through in the past, just in a different fashion. So you'll see and you'll hear all of that. The songs, the poetry, everything, the dance, everything will come together. You're gonna see a production that is a picture of music, and I'm thinking about a painting in my head right now, of sound and movement, and those images will tell the story for itself, and no one really even has to give dialogue in order for you to understand how it is moving. And that's how I wanted it to be presented, without a narrator to take us through it, that you should be able visually and see it, hear it, and see the story and see how everything is going to flow. Let's see. All right. So this is the part that gets, so we've met. Me and Brent meeting, phone call, say every time okay, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? So we've met. Now I have everything laid out. I need to meet with the artist in their groups. So I have a meeting with the visual artists. I have a meeting with the theater people. I have a meeting with the dancers. I have a meeting with the vocalists and the musicians to give them all the information they need and will use. So their music, their poems, everything, the whole nine. Zoom calls, so everybody can understand kind of what we're doing without telling them what we're doing, because what I didn't want to do in the making of this is reveal so much, you know, to them. I just wanted to give them their parts. They understood, you know, hey, this is what we're doing. The information we're receiving is going to be in this production. Now, they don't know in their head, you know, well, how is she gonna put this together? Because I don't want them to know how I'm gonna put it together because it won't be a surprise. But again, the information that they were receiving as it relates to them being in the production, they clearly understood sign of the times. Okay, so that was a clear indication of that. I laughed at some of my theater people, because we recorded this weekend, and we had a very, very, very long day on Sunday, and some of them said, I don't know where you got these poems from, but my goodness. So yeah, they're very powerful, very expressive, and it is so amazing how those particular poems are so, some of them were written in the 1800s, and it's unbelievable how they still can stand today, and you cannot even tell that they were written during that time, which is so amazing. So we had some great meetings. Again, I met separately with all of my artists so that they can get a feel of everything that they needed to do. Now, after meeting with everyone, they got their information, they got started, and we had to figure out, because everybody is kind of scattered all over the country. So now it is, how do we get everyone recorded? That was the piece that we were going back and forth with. Back and forth. Initially, we wanted to, of course, everybody who's local, we could, that was an easy fix. But everyone who was not, we were logistically trying to figure out how we can do this. Initially, we said, okay, we could just, see if they could get someone in their area or in their city to record them and then have the footage sent to us. But then I got nervous and was like, because if that footage is not meeting the desire that I'm, looking for, then that's gonna be horrible. So we had to make a decision, okay? So what we did was, we decided on some of our artists, we would just fly in, bring them here, and then get exactly what we needed, which worked out perfectly for those we could get here. So we did that. And again, we've been doing that now for the last 2 weekends, and we are excited. One artist almost could not make it. And so she said, so I told her, I said, that's fine. If someone in your area, just let us know. I'll have Brent talk to him or her so that we can see if we can, get the shots that we need, for, what we're looking for. She was like, no, that's okay. I'm just going to, try to work around it, see if I could just talk to my boss one more time to get it. She said, because I really want to be there so I can give you what you want. Love that. And that's a lot of times difficult for some people. You're telling them what you want and what you need from them, but they don't, for whatever reason, are not trying to mesh with what is being given and presented to them so that the vision can be made plain. Because a lot of times it's not necessarily the vision, it's the person or the persons who are involved in trying to make that vision happen, that either comes forth and is great or is not great. And that's because they didn't do their part. The person who is presenting that vision, they didn't do their part in making that as plain as it needs to be. Okay, so getting the people here. Getting them here. We had to do it in one day. We didn't have time to say, okay, well, tomorrow we'll get another shot. It was one shot. Now, mind you, because of our time restraints, and everyone getting their information in. It was so much of, you know, because we had so many different deadlines. But that, I think, was also a difficult thing, was waiting on everyone to get their materials in and meeting those deadlines. So that meant, and in my mind, that wasn't even a concern as it relates to them getting the material and learning the material, because in my mind, you're a professional. So you should be able to get it, get here, record it, and go back home. So they had probably, each artist had at least between a week to maybe 2 weeks, probably not quite 2 weeks, to learn all of their materials, whether that was music, whether that was choreography, whether that was their poetry. And so, hey, we're professionals, so we could do that. But they got here, I think Sunday, this past Sunday, was a long evening, long day. We spent, and we had a lot of people coming in to be recorded. So we had a different variety of people. So we had dancers, we had singers, we had theater people, we had visual artists. And so, and then some people were double duty. So we had some artists who were theater people and vocalists. So they were doing two separate things, two separate entities. So long day, long night on this past Sunday. But again, we had last weekend, this weekend, and then we have one more. Right now we're traveling. So I'm in Texas today. Tomorrow we'll be in Oklahoma. Friday we will be in Baton Rouge. So we're still getting it. It's one day only for everyone. So organizing this strategically. Once we get the footage, everything should really just fall into place as it relates to what pieces will go where, because I already know, because I always write everything. And you guys probably can't see this because of the light. I'm gonna move it over here just a little bit. So these are my notes, and you probably can't see them. Try to turn it to this angle. So this is everything. This is the whole, not the whole thing, but this is the performance section of it. Okay. So everything is written down. So once we get everyone recorded, I'll be able to go in and say, okay, this is the top. Let's edit this part. Let's edit the center part. Let's get everything down that we need to get that down for that, and let's edit the end. Okay. So those are the pieces of the puzzle that will come together. That's the beauty of it. At this point, because I think what's probably going to be, because we still, again, have quite a few artists and people that are involved in this production that still need to be recorded. So our prayer is that by next Monday, we will be done so that we can put it together. It's gonna get done because it has to be done, but you know, so that's what we're looking at. It's just, I think it's kind of, hey, Brent. He's waiting for his audio. Hey, buddy, my buddy, my buddy.
Yeah, I'm right there. Y'all doing okay?
Wherever I go, he goes. But no, Brent, I'm talking to them now about trying to put these pieces to the puzzles for all the recordings and stuff that we've been getting. But once we get, of course, everyone recorded, we can start putting those pieces to the, pieces of the puzzle together, laying them out, looking at those angles, looking at those shots, looking at those things that are going, we're like, right there, get that right there, we want that shot. you know, that kind of thing, because I know I'm gonna be yelling and screaming, and he already knows I yell and scream a lot, so it's okay. And so that the story can be told. And again, the way I want it to be told is through that performance, especially through that performance section. No narrator. You should be able to look at what you're seeing in that performance and see and hear the story. Okay, so that's the point of that. Again, when we get everything recorded, I told him, Brent, I said by Monday we should have everybody. We should have everybody recorded. I think also with this project and making it because of the time constraints and because of COVID-19 and so many different things that we had to take into consideration, time was not on our side as it relates to, you know, I think Brent had mentioned we were eating lunch earlier and today, and he said, I think I'm gonna just go ahead and buy a couch and just put it in his new place and just kind of sleep because it's not going to be any rest. Thinking about if COVID-19 had not happened, would it have been better? I don't think so. I think it would have probably been a lot more chaos with more people being here physically and trying to put it together that way. I don't know. I think this way, I mean, because I've done a lot of productions anyway and working with large groups and, you know, in strictly dance productions, strictly theater productions, and, you know, of course, once everybody comes together. But, you know, I think that would have been a totally different element. Of course, that was the vision from the jump with this production, that everyone would be here physically. But I was thinking about it, we were thinking about it on our way, and I said, I don't know, this may have not been as, you know, glam as we, you know, think. But I believe once we get it all together, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. What you got to say, Brent? You're looking at me.
Yeah. I'm thinking it's been a great journey so far. And it's been fun. Even today's specific recording was just awesome in so many different ways. So our job at this point is to pretty much convey what we've been feeling with all of these artists and people that have been a part of this project thus far. So, I mean, it's just going to be exciting for us to relay that same message, that same feeling, that same emotional connection, physical connection, spiritual connection with you guys, with the viewing audience, showing you just the talent of Southern University Shreveport and Grambling State University, but also talking about just the importance of HBCUs. And I didn't go to the HBCU myself. But I spent a lot of time on an HBCU campus for the social engagement. Being at Louisiana Tech, if anybody that has gone to Tech knows that Grambling is literally 5 minutes away. If you go down 80, you can go that way, go the back way, or you can go down 20 and take the Grambling exit. So a lot of these things I already knew, but I've even learned more about the HBCU experience because I've heard so many narratives that, you know, we've interviewed some awesome people. So yeah, this project, it is definitely a tough work, but it's going to be great, and we are totally excited. And we got some more stuff in the next week, so it's going to be a grind, but we're up for the challenge.
We're up for the challenge. I'm just excited. I know, and speaking about just on today, you know, sitting with Mr. Otis Hollingsworth, who is one of our visual artists. And Brent, before you came on early on, I told them about his drawing, because he drew, well, I'm not gonna tell you who he drew, but I'll just say this, it wasn't complete. And so I was looking at it going, well, he was supposed to have it finished, but I mean, I didn't say anything out loud.
Right.
And so I started talking to him kind of a little bit, and then I told Brent, I said, well, I'm trying to think of how I want, how I want this session to go. And so Brent said, just talk to him. So here I go. Hey, okay, Mr. Otis. And he rails in and starts to complete his work. And it was so amazing. By the time it was finished, I was in awe. And just to talk to him, not just an artist, he's a musician as well. And a lot of his works, they are on that scale. It's about music. You see instruments and different things that he draws and paints that are musically inclined. So it was an awesome session. It was so awesome that he literally gave me the portrait that he created. But I think what we're going to do is get it framed and have that also displayed for the artist reception on next Friday. So it was great, very inspirational, very educational, to hear people's stories and their life behind their work. Also, on some of the artists that came in on this past weekend, a lot of them you will see, because we got some interviews and everything that we've also done, that they're, multi-talented. They're not just one, so, yeah. So you have people who are theater people and dancers, theater people and singers. Yeah. Mr. Otis, who's a visual artist and a musician. Great, just talented folk that we have coming out of our historically Black colleges and universities, and more specifically Grambling State University and Southern University at Shreveport. Amazing. So I think just putting this together, and once we put some life to it, because of course all we have right now are images and sound, but once we start putting that together, that's going to be the amazing part, right? That's where everything starts going. I'm going, Brent, nope. You're gonna be looking at me like, okay, let's just try it. I was like, okay, let's see. And he does it, and he's like, oh, okay. Isn't that what you do?
Yeah. Look, we're gonna say, look, let's try it in there and let's reevaluate. And then we'll compromise from there. A lot of times, and I've worked on many projects, when you the producer and you're working with a director, it's almost like a marriage. A lot of compromising, a lot of meeting in the middle. Sometimes you just give up and say, all right, let's just do it this way, or vice versa. So it's gonna be a fun process, but it's all for the good of just this awesome. And go ahead and tell them about the shoot today. Not only did we meet Mr. Hollingsworth, we also met his family.
His whole family and his granddaughter. And so I, of course, had to drip some nuggets, because I always want the children to attend Black colleges. So found out that some of his other grandchildren, I believe one goes to Hampton.
Was it
Is that
Hampton,
correct?
Howard?
Yeah, one granddaughter was at Hampton. One was at school in Atlanta, Morehouse, I think. Did he say Morehouse? Anyway, yeah. One of his grandchildren is a great artist. That DNA runs in their family. And guess what? He did a portrait of, what was his name, Brent? I can't think. He just passed. He drew a portrait.
Oh, John Lewis.
he created a portrait of John Lewis before he died. I don't know how many years ago that was. And he presented it, had the opportunity to present it to him. So he presented it to him, and someone else who was there, who was very instrumental, and I can't even remember her name, in the civil rights movement, wanted a portrait.
Right.
He created it for her, and then her sister, who was a twin, I believe that's what he said, also wanted a portrait. So I'm sitting there going, oh, and Brent, what did we forget about? Mr. Hollingsworth also has patents on, what is the thing called?
Oh goodness. It's like a bow and arrow.
Oh
I
God.
can't think of the name of it, but yeah. Yeah, we just learned so much about him. And then he was an educator as well, right?
Yeah, for 38 years.
Educator for 38 years. And he talked so much about his band experience, and you know, in the 60s. And you missed this right here, which we kind of give a sneak peek to what we'll see in the actual virtual production. But he actually has his letter that he received in 1961, saying that he was accepted into Grambling. And I don't know if you remember, he made a reference. He said he normally calls it GC, Grambling College, because at the time that he went, Grambling was just considered a college and not a university. So, I mean, we learned so much. And he also had the painting that he painted I can't remember, I think he was trying to get something with the art department. So in order for him to get into a class or something like that, he had to solicit a painting.
Audition. So
right,
they
he had to
told
audition.
him to draw something.
Right.
Okay.
He has that same painting.
He said, well, I should have just drew a flower or something. He said, but he chose to draw an actual person, so someone with a face. And he said he had never been to art school, so he had no technical training in art. He was just somebody who was kind of a natural. And he said he got in. He was very shocked that he got in. But if you saw the drawing, it was like, why are you shocked? Like, because it was great. Same thing, I think, Brent, with that acceptance letter. Was that for the band? Because he had to audition for the band to get in, correct?
Yes, and if I'm not mistaken, there may have been kind of like a scholarship or something in that vein. But I know it was an acceptance letter from 1961.
And he still had it.
And he still has it. So that's almost 60 years, 59 years ago. And he still has that. And I mean, he had so much artwork in his home. His daughter was there, granddaughter and son-in-law. They were there as well. So they were just intrigued by what was going on. But this is just one of the people that we have for our project. I mean, we could really stay on here probably another 2 or 3 hours and just talk about every single person that we've been in contact with specifically for this virtual performance. But you know, we want to kind of save some.
Well, I haven't told them anything. I've just kind of, just been trying to give them little nuggets.
Yeah.
But in it is that even though everyone is kind of in the same vein as it relates to the music and the dance and the poems and all that, everyone is still bringing their own personality to it. So I think that's the beauty in it, I laughed at one of our artists on Sunday. She was tired because she was one of those artists who has a theater background as well as a vocal background. So she was doing double duty, but she was a little tired. And so me, being the slave driver I am, and I just said, just do it. Well, I don't think I'm going to be able to. And I looked at her and she said, so she's still trying to get out of it. And of course I'm going, just sing it. If you mess up, you're fine. I mean, and so in her mind, she thought she sounded horrible. Brent, we were looking at her like, she was like, that just doesn't sound good. I said, sweetheart, I don't even realize if you know how great you are. Like, it was so good, even in her tiredness, Brent made her go back to re-sing another song she had sung previously because she had kind of changed it up a little bit with her, with what she had on. And he said, "You look like a queen right here. Sing it. Go back and sing that other song.
Do it again.
Do it again." So it's amazing how sometimes I think as artists, we think that we, because we're tired. And I think because we've learned to work through that, through being tired or even being hungry or just being weary and, all those outside elements that tend to, for whatever reason, pop in, pop up, and pop out, and still perform up to our best. And Pam, your face is on because we need to take a break.
Well, it is time for just a little break. I think you might want to rest your voice, and I promise to play the music to the homecoming video. So are you ready for a little 5-minute break?
I'm ready.
Brent, you ready? All right, well, we will go forward then, and everyone take a little rest. Remember, if you're on Facebook Live or our Zoom, we've put the evaluation form into the chat for the Zoom, and you're going to save the date for this great performance, virtual live stream, working against all odds and producing one of the best artistic moments you'll ever experience on Saturday, October 24th at 7 p.m. and Sunday, October 25th at 2 p.m. And now, here we go. All right, back to you. Let me just remind everybody as you come back, Brent and Rashonda, that in addition to the phenomenal performance that you all are putting together as you've been speaking tonight, it does also include many of the visual artists who are a part of celebrating homecoming in an exhibition, and they are featured in the performance. But you will want to see their work in the opening night exhibition on Friday, October the 24th. And then, nope, I've got the date wrong. Excuse me, please. Friday is October 23rd. And so at 5:30 p.m. at Art Space in downtown Shreveport, we'll be celebrating the opening of the visual exhibition. And then on Saturday in the morning from 10 until 1, we're going to have a homecoming gathering. You'll get a chance to meet the artists. You'll be able to see the artworks. You'll be able to get to be with Rashonda D. Spears and Brent Lattin and Eric Francis, and also Brenda Wimberly, our lead artist in this project, who have been teaching every night for 6 weeks, and you'll get to hear more from them. And then Saturday night at 7 p.m. will be our debut of the homecoming virtual performance directed by Rashonda and produced by Brent Lattin. Here you go. Your turn now. Thank you.
Thank you, Pam. It was funny, Brent, because, I'm tired, you're tired, we're tired. So on my way, well, once I sat down, um, and right before I went on, um, and I think the very first workshop, I was like really, really nervous. And after that, I kind of warmed up. And I don't know what it was before I got on. And I was like, I'm nervous. And I think that is just a lot of excitement, especially after today. Just a lot of excitement, just a lot of um, great energy that will definitely be poured into this project. And, I think one thing that has really, really just made my heart so happy is as the artists are coming in to be recorded, and whether we're doing an interview or just strictly recording them for their art form, each and every one of them has always said, thank you. Like, Mr. Otis said something that just touched me so today. He was like, thank you. He said, because nobody would have, really never known about, all the, stuff that I do. And I know he made mention in 1998 was the last time that, someone had done something on him. And he was just elated, you guys, that, people want to know about them. And know about their greatness, and know that, because we put a lot of emphasis on the Ivy League institutions, and nothing's wrong with them. But what people some people do not realize is that some of our greatest minds and our greatest everything have come out of these institutions. And he said something that was so, that a light bulb came on to me was, he said, hey, everybody needs teachers, and you getting teachers that are coming out of these schools, and all these great people, most of them probably were taught from someone from a Black college. So true, because we have our imprints on a lot of things. I think another one of our artists and interviewees made that comment about 2 weeks ago, saying something about, I believe it was his nephew, and I forget which university he said he's going to, but he said, had it not been for what he had done as it relates to going to a Black college, that excellence and that pride was rubbed off into his family, even though his nephew didn't go to a Black college, but because of the seeds that had been sowed to him, he was able to sow them to his nephew. So, inspirational.
Yeah, definitely inspirational. I mean, even this past Sunday's recording, and we recorded nearly 12 hours, almost 12 hours.
Almost nonstop. I think I scarfed down that sandwich I had in 2 seconds.
Yeah. But it was nearly nonstop. But I mean, we met some great people, and you reconnected with some people that you've already known throughout the years. And just to hear how HBCUs not only affected their mindset and kind of where they are or where they were at that point, but also how even 10, 15, 20, 30 years later, the impact that going to a historically Black college or university put on their life, and how it even helps them now is just such an awesome story that I'm glad we're able to tell in an awesome visual. Like you were saying, Denise, who is one of the performers that will be presented, she is in the Las Vegas area, and she actually performs on the Strip. And she was just saying that before she got to Grambling, it was almost a culture shock, because she didn't know it was that many talented people. And even more specifically, she said she didn't know, just because she grew up in maybe not as in a diverse area in schooling, But when she got to Grambling, she just did not know that there were that many talented people. So she was kind of intimidated. She said, you know, she didn't.
She was intimidated.
Yeah.
She did not. Her major was criminal justice, y'all. And she was always a singer, but because she was so intimidated when she got to Grambling, because she's like, everybody here can sing. You know, where she came from, she was the best singer. And so when she got to Grambling and she got in the choir, everybody could sing. She was like, oh, I'm not about to be a soloist here. Because, you know, it was like, oh my God, everybody was great. And that is so awesome. That you can go to a place and everyone is great. She said she had never seen so many Black people who were so great at one time. Like thousands of Black people, just everybody, just great. Everybody, every single person. So for her, it was so intimidating. And she did not. She was in the choir. She said she did, I think, one play. And now this lady, because she spent what, 15 years in criminal justice. Mm-hmm. Now she's been doing 15 years doing, you know, her life's work, which she literally creates shows. I mean, from the rooter to the tutor. So we're talking about getting the band together, the music, the songs, the scripts, everything. And she even found herself, because she was really tired, real tired. She said she had to come to Shreveport to get some rest. She said she slept longer than she has in years, because she's doing all this work. And, you know, that's another thing about, you know, it's more specifically performing artists. A lot of times we are grinding so, you know, we tend to neglect ourselves a lot. But she is so amazing, and she does not even realize how amazing she is. She doesn't even think she knows she's great, but she doesn't even look at herself like that. I think she made comment, Brent, about, you know, people being doctors and lawyers and how everyone looks at those professions as so up here. And Brent, you made the comment on the way to Texas today saying, that's what they're supposed to do. It's not, you know, if you deliver babies, we know you're supposed to deliver a baby. But as an artist, you don't know what you are going to do to someone who is watching. So those different emotions each time is, those different presentations, I will say, could be different each time for everybody. So you being out there every night doing your thing, you know, that's different for a lot of people who are receiving it. So in this making of sorts of this production, I've been learning a lot. What about you, brother?
Yeah, I learned a lot as well. Just even from the standpoint, like I say, of HBCUs and just the way that they're impacting. And one thing that I love in the line of work that I do, I get to meet so many people and hear so many stories. And I just, I love hearing people's stories. You know, we watch so much fiction on television a lot of times to where we engulf and engage with that. Well, look, let's listen to somebody that's telling the truth, or hopefully they're telling the truth. And if they're not, we wouldn't know anyway. But
we wouldn't know.
It's just amazing just to hear all of these stories and follow these different lives and how HBCUs have impacted, but also art and how they began in their art and what they've done with their art and like we always say, you know. And I've known this for a while, you know, I'm a creator. I've been in the arts my entire life, mainly on the music end. And then as I got older, more on the production end. But there's just something about creating. And I tell people this all the time. One of my good pastor friends, Theron Jackson, said this years ago. He said, being creative is the closest way that you can get to God. So Rashad, don't look surprised. I said it earlier today. You must have missed it. You must have missed your
I
shout
did.
then. You missed your shout.
I did. I missed the shout.
But that's
I
just
missed it,
true.
Britt.
And I mean, we saw that even in, you know, today, just and I tell everybody I'm a very spiritual person. But sometimes we constrict spirituality to religion and all that. But man, today was a great spiritual experience, just seeing an artist doing what he does and doing all the details. And I think most of us at some point have tried to draw something or tried to color or something, and it doesn't look anything close to what it should look like. But to see somebody that can bring out the life in a picture and even add their own pizzazz to it, I mean, it's amazing. And I tell everybody, you know, everybody's always amazed at other people's gifts, but they're amazed at yours as well. When I see Rashonda or anybody dance, I'm like, how do they do those movements? It's so smooth. I'm like, I can barely move my arms synchronized. So, and the same thing with, like I say, with the visual artists or even with singers. And I'm a musician myself, but people that can really sing, I'm just always amazed at how they can just sing so well and how it comes out. So it's something about the arts, and that's one reason I'm glad that we're doing this, because we really want to put a focus on the arts and how, yes, the arts can be a lifestyle as well. Yeah, you can be a doctor, you can be a lawyer, you can be an engineer, you can do a lot of those things, but don't neglect the arts. The arts have a much larger meaning than just financial gain. So,
so fulfilling.
Yeah,
you know, it's so fulfilling. I was telling one of the artists when I was picking her up from the airport that I love my job. Yeah, we get tired. Yeah, we get frustrated. But at the end of the day, when I go home, I want to get up again to do it again. You know, it's never a dull moment. Nothing is ever repetitive as it relates to, you know, going in, doing your work, you know, working with different people. But it's something about just performing that is so, like you said, Brent, it's just spiritual.
Yeah.
You know, it is the work. And another one of our artists, we interviewed about 2 weeks ago, and, you know, she said, I think she wasn't feeling well, but she had to block that out, and she had to get on that stage, and she had to do what she had to do. And while she was up there, she forgot about it until she stopped and she went back to whatever that was.
Right.
And that's what the performing arts teaches you, that no matter what's going on in your life, good, bad, or indifferent, that you, because we give so much of ourselves to other people,
right,
your responsibility is to give the people what they came for.
Right.
And that's a huge, when you think about that, I just said that and didn't realize how huge that is.
That's a big responsibility.
That's a lot. That is a lot. And a lot of people don't understand that, and they don't get that. You know, you have a lot of friends and family members and in your relationships, and people don't get why you still have to do something even if somebody just died. Like, I gotta go, but I'll be back. You know, not taking death lightly by any chance, because everybody receives those things differently. But you still have to do what you have to do.
Right.
I recall a time when I was dancing at Grambling, and we were on the field because, you know, we danced with the band during football season, and we were on stage during concert season in the spring. And my heel got stuck in the grass on the field. And back then, in the 90s, we were wearing
in the wind.
Huh?
When, Rashonda? You said in what
Really,
years?
really, Brent? Really? He does that to me all the time. So my heel got stuck in the grass. and we had a pause maybe for a few seconds for the breakdown with the band. And I realized that I could not move my shoe to get it out of the mud. I don't know what I did to get it out, but I know I had a swollen ankle by the time I finished, and nobody knew it until we got to the stands. Nobody. I just kept in, and my ankle was like burning, like, help me, Lord. But those are the kind of things, and those are the kind of moments where, you know, that strengthens you in a lot of areas. Strengthens your mind. And that is the kind of fortitude that will take you so far, because you can get through so very much. And I think a lot of times for people, you know, they break down so easily is because they don't know how to just persevere and just get through it, just work through it. And so for a lot of artists, you know, that's what it's about. That's what it's about, and that's that spiritual thing. What they say in the church: leave your burdens out the door, and come on in here and do what you need to do. And that's what it's about, making it happen. And it's not, and it's so wonderful because it's not just about you. Again, what you're giving is to the people. You don't know how you can change someone's life through a song, or how you can change someone's life through music and dance and a piece of artwork. I was sitting there watching Mr. Otis complete that artwork, and I'm amazed. I'm going, look, and then he added that piece of color, and that just made that thing pop. Like, you know, I'm sitting up there going, I'm talking to him, you know, amazed, guys, amazed, because that particular photo that he was recapturing was so very awesome. So very awesome. So.
Yeah, it is. And tell them about the conversation you had with his granddaughter, and even how emotional it got. I don't know if you told that story before I got on, but tell them.
I did not, and there you go. See, that's why I love Brent. He makes me sick. Okay, so I was talking to his granddaughter. Her grandfather is so amazing, guys. You know, he's an artist, he's a musician, he's a teacher, he's a mentor, and he's an entrepreneur, you know, all those things. And so I kept saying throughout the time I was there, while I was watching him and Brent was getting the images and doing his thing, and I kept saying to her, because she said she wanted to be a, what did she say, Brent? She wanted to write.
She wanted to do screenplays.
So my advice to her was to make sure that she learns all the sides of it. So learn all the technical end, you know, learn everything. And also learn the business end of it and continue to do that. But my words to her, like in between each of those things I was saying to her, was sit at your grandfather's feet. I just kept telling her that, like, sit at his feet, because the more we talk to him and the more Brent said, just ask him this, ask him that. And so I'm talking to him, and the more we find out about his life, even his wife was an artist. We were talking about her doing makeup for all these different celebrities, you know, before she died. But I kept telling his daughter, I said, baby, please sit it. I said, I don't care if you get tired of hearing his stories, just let him tell you his stories. Let him talk to you. And so for me, for that young lady, I need her to carry on that legacy, that knowledge. Because we also talked to him, and I thought maybe he had a master's degree. He didn't have a master's degree, but that man was so brilliant. Like amazing smart, amazing talented, you know, so many nuggets that he was giving. And I just, when we were leaving, you know, because we exchanged numbers. Her mother wanted me to keep in touch with them, and you know, I think their daughter wants to go to California to do her thing, which is probably a great place for her for what she's trying to do. But you know, I just kind of started with my boo-hoo, my little tears, because that man, along with the rest of these artists, are fantabulous. Like words cannot even express. Even on that screen, you'll see it, but you don't even understand. Just being there live and in color. You know, it's something about being able to touch, to being touchable. You know, COVID-19 has kind of, you know, messed us up with that. We're not as touchable. And that's the beauty in being up close and personal to a piece of work or some music or going to see a live show. Yeah, it's one thing to see it on the screen, and we hope we exude this thing, and that's what we want to do, exude this thing to you all. It's nothing like being able to touch it. Just physically be there in the moment. Because sometimes when you're there, it's like when you see the video, you're like, oh, that was good. And you're like, you were not there. Look, you tell people, you were not there. If you were there, it would have been a totally different experience for you because you were in the midst of it. And that's also spiritual. Just being in the midst of it and being there, that fellowship and that touchableness. But this has been an experience, and I shall never forget it because a lot of people I did not know and probably would have never known had I not been doing this project, you know. So yeah, that's gonna be, yeah, for me, it's like, wow. But everyone is so thankful. Everyone is so excited. Everyone loves their school. So funny how we talk about each other. You go, oh, Southern this and Grambling this, you know. But we love our schools. Like, that is so wonderful. It's like, yeah, I do anything. Yeah, what's up? You know, Grambling this, Southern this. You know, we had some of those visual artists being a little rowdy on Sunday. That was so funny. I was trying to put a picture next to a picture of Eddie Robb next to a Southern SU, some little block. She was like, Eddie Robinson rolling over this grave. What you putting that over there for? We are so funny as it relates to that, how our rivalry, that is so awesome, how our rivalry has, you know, really brought us together in this sense as it relates to the performing arts. But that's what the performing arts does. It brings people together, you know, good, bad, or indifferent. It just brings us together, and it's just so awesome. I just cannot wait for this thing to be, for the pieces of this puzzle, of this making, to be put together, so that you all will enjoy and really have a different feeling about, you know, not just HBCUs and Grambling and Southern in particular, but about art and the appreciation for the arts and Black artists. It you know, because I think a lot of times we don't really understand the time. Like Brent said, it looks so easy. They were throwing their legs up and they were doing it. You know how many hours of that we do every day? You know, you're repetitive. You're doing the same thing. And he understands as it relates to a musician, how you playing those same keys and you're going back over and you're going back over. Same thing with our bodies. We're doing it again. We're doing it again. We're perfecting. We're doing it again. We're doing it again. We're perfecting. We're doing it again. We're doing it again. And we're perfecting. And so then when people see the presentation, then they go, oh my God, that was so awesome. Because we've been what? Doing it again and doing it again and perfecting. Doing it again and doing it again and perfecting and correcting. Go higher, go lower. We had someone watching that was a guest of one of the artists and said, how did you know that how did you see all that happening at one time? His leg going up, his head, his arm. I said, because I've been doing this forever. So I kept telling one of our artists as he was dancing, release your head right there. No, go higher, do it again. And when he did it, it really made him look like he was touching the ceiling, as opposed to, you know, when he did his jump. So there's those things that, you know, as artists, we know, we can hear, you know, and Brent knows as a musician, she in the wrong key. I'm like, okay, sounded good to me, but you know, ding, 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 that little machine he had, ding, ding, you gotta be an F, ding, 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 and then here I go, tick, tock, tick, think of my ear, trying to click it. But this has been good. This has been a great experience. I am overflowing with a good matter. And I got my sidekick. My buddy. I know you got a question. I don't know why you're looking like that. You like you want to say something.
You know, I'm not usually speechless or lost for words, but I mean, I'm just excited to get. I'm excited to get this final product out there to where we spending an hour watching the final thing and just looking at it and just in awe. So I'm in anticipation. So I am lost for words, and Pam,
Really,
that's very rare with me. I'm never lost for words, but
I was just getting ready to say, he always has something to say, Pam.
So I have a question for both of you.
Sure.
If we had not pivoted to a live stream production, if you started off by talking about all the changes that we made to accommodate live stream, and of course a big part of that change was the discovery of Brent in and of himself, who had sort of not really factored in right off the bat in the way that we imagined, because right off the bat we thought it was going to be at the Municipal Auditorium in a live performance. But I would love for you, Rashonda, to tell me one way that you, or tell our audience, I should say, one thing you would have done live that you cannot do live stream. And Brent, you in turn share how what she would have done has actually been improved by the live stream method. Is that okay?
Hey, everybody would have been together, of course, on the stage. Again, being there all together. So of course that would have made it so much more powerful with everyone together, coming out to do their parts, everyone engaging in those parts, intertwined in those parts together at one time. So that would have been the difference. We're hoping that we can still do that with our video. I'm hoping in my mind we can still bring that effect, but that would have been the difference, Pam. Everyone there at one time, and the vision that I've laid out, I wouldn't have changed it. I think even if it was on stage, what I have, we could still do on stage. I don't think that would have changed. The only thing that would have changed was everybody would have been there together, doing it together, and that would have been like the beauty in it.
So, of course, in that regard, there could have been mistakes.
Yes.
Someone might not have been together.
Correct.
Nerves or just lack of preparation.
Miscues. Look, miscues.
Miscue. Brent takes that, I want them all to be together. I would think Brent could force the issue by forcing the editing. So
yes.
What do you think about that for a moment, Brent?
Yeah, definitely. From this end, anything that has a production aspect of it, you can definitely do a lot more as far as improving the perfectionism of it. And I don't, is perfectionism even a word? If it's not, it can be coined as a word now. So yeah, that is definitely one of the things that we can do is synchronize a little better than what would have been done live. One of the other aspects that I'm really excited about this project is just the visibility. Of course, doing it live at the municipal would have been great. But now we have an opportunity to extend our viewing audience past just who would have been in the municipal or who may have posted a little bit or shared a little bit on Facebook with their phones or something. Now we're able to really put out something that anybody can view. One of the things that I'm very excited about, and even today we saw Rashonda when we filmed Mr. Otis, his family wanted to know, hey, when can we see this? When can we see this?
Yes.
You know, it may have been a little bit more difficult, or they may not have had as much engagement if we were just presenting his artwork on a Friday and Saturday, and they're trying to see what do we want to drive 3 hours or 3.5 hours down 35, then I-20 to get to Shreveport. But now they can sit at home and still engage with what we have going on, and then they can share it to other people all across the country, across the world. So I'm excited for that opportunity of where this platform will carry this project.
And to add to that, the people who are in the performance, you will get to see them up close and personal.
That's true.
So it on the stage, everybody, you know, it'll be kind of, yeah, there you go, Pam, move it back. Yes. Oh, I think that's her back there.
You can't see any details, but
Yes.
this way closer.
Yes. So they will be
great for everyone, but yes.
So even though everyone is kind of doing the same thing, minding the same thing, being the same thing, you'll still see them individually. And it'll be more up close, more personal, and beautiful.
So we're going to close off, but I just want to remind everybody, I guess, we're on Tuesday. Now, you're back on Thursday of this week with another session, but then next week, I believe that you both take off to prepare finally for the show, or wait. Monday, no, you all do together, don't you? I'm all lost, Brent.
That's
Don't
okay.
you both come together on Monday night and talk about where you are? And then on
Yes.
October 26th, one more time after the show, you're going to sort of talk about how challenging some of those scenes that seem to be natural really were to film, edit, and to magnify out so that it looked like one contiguous performance. All right. So we will see you, Rashonda, this Thursday. Same place, same time. No, I won't.
You'll see me on Monday, the 19th.
Okay. Somehow as I say, I'm not looking at the calendar, but
That's
I glad
okay.
you are.
That's no problem, because you scared me when you said Thursday. I said, ooh, another one. But no, because you remember, me and Britt have one together, and then we have another one on the 26th.
All right.
So, yes.
We will see the two of you together on Monday night.
Yes.
If you are listening in and haven't been a part so far of Brent's workshops, because maybe you didn't think you were a producer, you won't want to miss Monday night when you get the chance to see it all come together with the two of them. So this Monday coming up, Monday the 19th, and then Monday, October 26th. Tune in, Zoom in, come on Facebook Live and see this incredible compilation of performing arts talent, visual arts talent, producing talent, envisioning and directing talent all work together for a great experience. Thank you all, and let's say good night.
Good night.
And read your emails, the two of you.